Peace, family. I'm back again with more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Uh, Today, I want to talk about this Tartaria. We're gonna talk about Tartaria. We're gonna talk about how long we're here. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about the truth. You know what I'm saying? That the truth is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And you see my channel. You see how many people come around. It's not something for common people. It's not something for people that have issues. You know what I'm saying? You need to be cleared. You need to be. You need to have vitality. You can't lose that. You need to have. You know, focus. You need to be clear-minded. You know what I'm saying? And you need to be confident. You need to be disciplined above all things. Yeah, because people, these new generations out there, man, they ain't disciplined for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I see dudes drink at night, they drink in the morning, they have no time to drink. They drink anytime. Yeah? And this is corruption. This means they're not disciplined. And if you're not disciplined, you're not going anywhere. You're not fit for no truth. You're not fit for nothing that is great and honorable. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I've seen news from America, man. It's just getting worse and worse. Trump is just enslaving these Negroes, and now they have concentration camps in Utah because all these poor people and people that cannot afford house, people that haven't got a job, people that are disabled, they building concentration camps to put them on people. That's what's going on. While youths on YouTube debating all day, refuse to grow up, they don't know what the revolution is. You know what I'm saying? And the meaning of self-growth is totally being dismissed. Yeah, they don't know what that is. You need to have self-growth to conduce change. Yeah, you need to rise above the average. Yeah, if you still stuck in gossip, if you still stuck in small bullshits, man, this is exactly what the enemy wants, because this is what's going to keep you there to get reset. Reset. You know what I'm saying? That's all there is to it. Today we're gonna cut the bullshits. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get everything straight on this video. You know what I'm saying? And is what I told you guys, man. The knowledge of wisdom is not for, is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It comes with too much heavy. You need to have discipline. You need to have control of your inner self. Yeah, and because you're going to come across a lot of people that are destabilized, a lot of people that they will try to destabilize you. If you're not balanced, if you're not grounded, that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to stay grounded, you know what I'm saying? And to rise above average, yeah. And, that wisdom only forms from your own self-research, yeah, and living experience and knowledge. That's how you get wisdom. Nobody can give you wisdom in a plate. Nobody can, you cannot just get wisdom. It got to come from you. You got to tap inside of your inner self. You got to tap inside of knowledge that you have, and then you have to synchronize everything and see everything for what it is. And by seeing everything, you're gonna see everything. You know what I'm saying? And even the things that you didn't see before. But it all takes a state of mind that cannot be defiled by things, by common things and things that keep your mind in a slumber. And if your mind is in a slumber, it's not going to be in higher places. You know what I'm saying? That's the confusion of a lot of people. They want to get somewhere, but they don't know how to because they don't know their own damn mind, man. You know what I'm saying? That their own mind play tricks on them. You know what I'm saying? The ability to not stay stuck in a room inside your mind, because your mind have a lot of rooms and you can stay stuck inside them rooms even for life. Yeah, if you have trauma inside your head and you didn't deal with that trauma, that shit is gonna run your life until you die. Yeah, your mind can have power over you. If you don't know how to control it, that's exactly what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was young, yeah, I had my parents were nice people, but at some point my dad was a little bit, too much. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't like some things that he will do, and some things he will do kind of can become traumatizing. And when you're growing up, you get traumatized. I think all teenagers go to that. They get to this point that they want to kill themselves or something. You know what I'm saying? All kids go to that, and some kids do kill themselves because either it's to do with the water they're drinking, either it's to do with the environment, how their parents. But either way, when you grow up and you get to this stage, it's like your body and your mind. It's the time that your body and your mind come together, and you're going to decide if you want to continue to live or to die. That's why these things happen. But you know, but a lot of people get trauma from when they're young and don't let it go. You know what I'm saying? And they tend to spend their entire lives swimming in that drama and taking that drama everywhere, thinking, sharing. Look, man, it's not going to fly. Yeah, anything that you don't clear inside your mind is going to drag you down to the slumbers, to the dungeons. Yeah, it's going to take you down to hell itself. Yeah, so your mind is important. Yeah, to respect, to control your mind, to know your mind, to clear your mind from trauma, from all types of negativity. It's the most important thing. If you, until you do that, don't try to get any higher knowledge because this shit is gonna be in the way, and it will cause you more damage than growth. That's what's gonna happen when you have uh, negative energies living within you, and you waste your life doing things that you ought not. You waste your life and your time, and you ain't doing nothing. And what's coming to you is that shit, that reset shit that we're gonna see now. Yeah, because if these humans don't grow up and become real men and real women, there's no way they're gonna escape this. It's really easy to do away with them, emotional, troubled, troubled, problematic, traumatized, easy to get rid of them. These governments, they have a complete script to get rid of people that are unstable. You know what I'm saying? So when we're going to come to do this job, you need to be stable, you need to be balanced, you need to be secure of yourself. You don't need to be, if you're not, if you have no, you know what I'm saying, if you're not, confident about yourself, yeah, because a lot of people are not, you're going to conflict with other people. Because just because you're not confident about yourself, when you're confident about yourself, you don't need to debate. That's why all these niggas are out there in the debates. They're not confident about the shit they believe. They have to argue, they have to debate. They have to find out validation. They have to get validation from another guy, yeah, to find out if they're right or not, because they ain't sure about nothing. They ain't confident about what they believe. And this is not happening in my channel. Yeah, I'm not here to debate nothing. Yeah, my information is supposed to be truth. And if you think it's not, keep moving. And you know, I don't need, if you don't want to subscribe, look man, keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't have no subscribers, I have no likes, or I have nothing, I'm not bothered with none of that. Yeah, because I'm complete secure in myself, that, and I know within myself that what I'm putting down, it's my truth. And this is the truth that I know. And this is the truth I believe. And this is the truth that can deliver me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm going to stick to. I'm not going to believe nobody that want to argue about something that I've told you, because anything I tell you, I investigate before I put it up there. And if I'm wrong, you can come here and say exactly why I'm wrong. I'm willing to change. Let's go. Yeah, but I'm not going to sit in debates. I'm not going to feed into the circus of people that are not confident about themselves or about the information they put out. Yeah, people that are emotionally unstable. This is a joke, you ain't going nowhere. But this is why the enemy ain't even worried about you. You know what I'm saying? And you can't have no growth going around being emotional. Yeah, letting people use you emotionally. Yeah, you need to have growth. A lot of people want to play with emotions. They can play, but they can't play me. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see everything. There's nothing I cannot see. There's nothing, and if I don't tell you, it's because I don't want you. Yeah, and I'm waiting for you to grow up. But I see everything. That's it, man. Let's continue with this video. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom forms by self-research. You know what I'm saying? And your living experience. And your own research and your own conviction. Okay? And that's what you're going to put out to the road, because it's what you know the best. Okay? It's not something to be debatable, because you're supposed to be truthful. If you're not a liar, if you're not confused, if you're not into your emotions, if you're not being manipulated, you will have truth. That's what happens when you walk in clarity. That's it, man. Let's go. This video is explaining how these dudes, man, in 2016, people, and the history they gave you, it's all fake. I already told you many times in this channel. It's all fake. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a reset in 1812, and they changed everything. They changed, they repopulate the earth, they move people around. They brought a lot of babies to cities like London, all Europe, America, yeah, and even other places. I'm thinking India, everywhere. They brought these babies. And they started this new, what you know, civilization. It was from 1812, people. That was only 214 years. Yeah. So all that 500 years slavery and all that bullshit that they teach you, it's all bullshit, people. It never happened. Roman history never happened. It was all Tartaria back there, and we were somebody else that we don't know now, because people were changed and given new names, and they've been scattered. Okay? Let's go.
There's a painting that hangs in the Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg that no art historian can fully explain. It's called The Great Fire, and it depicts Moscow in 1812, burning. Except when you look closely, really look, something is wrong. The fire doesn't burn like a normal fire. The buildings don't collapse the way buildings should collapse. And in the background, barely visible, there's a light. A light that's too bright, too intense, too white. A light that looks nothing like flame. I stared at that painting for 3 hours. The museum guards thought I was insane, but I couldn't leave, because I'd seen that light before, in photographs from Hiroshima, in footage from nuclear tests, in documentary images of thermal devastation. That painting, created in 1812, shows the exact visual signature of a nuclear blast, and no one talks about it. The year 1812 is taught as the year Napoleon invaded Russia, a conventional war, muskets and cavalry, artillery and tactics. We're told Napoleon's army was defeated by winter and Russian resistance. 600,000 soldiers marched into Russia. Only 10,000 returned. The greatest military disaster in history. Except when you examine the evidence, when you look at what actually...
Listen, people, 600,000 men walked to Russia and only 10,000 came back. They walked straight into a reset. That's what they mean. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody there got killed. The city got burned. Yeah. With nuclear, some type of nuclear weapon. You know what I'm saying? They see it through the photo, it's like a nuclear lightning coming with 1,000 suns of light. And it just wiped them out, man. There was nothing left. They destroyed all millions of people, man, in one go. The whole history, the whole civilization was wiped out, people. How bad is that? And you still believe what they're doing today? Let's go.
Happened. Nothing about 1812 makes sense as a conventional war. Because 1812 wasn't a war. It was an extermination. The systematic incineration of the Tartarian Empire. And they've been lying about it for 200 years. Let me show you something they don't teach in history class. In 1812, fires destroyed almost every major city across the northern hemisphere. Not small fires, not accidental fires. Simultaneous catastrophic fires that consumed entire metropolitan areas in hours. Moscow burned for 6 days. The fire was so intense it created its own weather system. Eyewitnesses described a firestorm that generated winds strong enough to lift grown men off their feet.
Wow.
Temperatures so extreme that stone buildings melted. Melted. Stone doesn't melt in normal fires. New York burned in 1812. The entire southern district consumed in a single night. Official cause, unknown origin. Philadelphia had a massive fire.
So this is what they're going to do to you in this realm. Okay, after they're using and abusing you, and you've been sleeping all day every day, talking shit on YouTube, this is what's happening. Eventually, all of a sudden, they wipe everybody out without warning. Something just come up in the sky, whoosh, everything disappears. Okay? And then after that, they're not even telling you what happened. They're telling you, look, man, unknown. Nobody knows. You see how fucked up these people are? Nobody knows. The whole entire civilization disappeared overnight and nobody knows. Let's go.
Baltimore burned. Washington, D.C. burned so completely, they had to rebuild the White House. Boston had multiple fires. Charleston, New Orleans, all in 1812, all catastrophic, all officially listed as unfortunate accidents or consequences of the War of 1812.
An accident.
But here's what they don't tell you. Russia and America weren't at war with each other. Napoleon's campaign and the American War of 1812 happened simultaneously, but on opposite sides of the planet. There's no logical connection.
Mm-hmm.
And yet cities burned on both continents at the same time, with the same inexplicable intensity. I started...
There is no explanation, people. Inexplicable. This is how they do you. This is what you're building. All that money, all them bombs, this is what you're building, people. And after all of that, after the reset, that's why they didn't tell you the truth. They had to give you all the lies that they gave you. You came from Vikings. You came from the evolution. You came from all types of shit, people. You came from Jesus. Yeah. Meantime, they kept you in the dark, people, and you only here for 200 years. That's what I was telling you guys, man. From 1800, 1812, they started all this shit, 1900. That's how far this thing came. Yeah, so don't talk to me about no long-term history because you don't know. You don't know what they did to our ancestors. You just know they smoked them all overnight and told you they don't know what happened. Okay, they didn't even tell you the story. That's how bad it is. And we saw what they did to these kids that survived or that they probably kept somewhere before in advance. Yeah, because they have a lot of programs and they probably got these kids already selected somewhere. And when shit happens, after that they came, they cleared the cities. Yeah, they went to Russia, they cleared buildings that were destroyed, they buried them, and ones that were still okay, they used them for the new people that came in, and they destroyed all the fortresses, all the cathedrals. They had like energy, free energy going on. They destroyed all this material. Yeah. And they came back to the to the dark ages. That's what's happening, people. Let's go.
Eyewitness accounts, letters, diaries, newspaper reports from 1812. And the descriptions are terrifying, not because of what people saw, because of what they describe without understanding it. A woman in Moscow wrote, "The light came first, brighter than 1,000 suns. We covered our eyes, but the light burned through our hands. Then came the wind, then came the fire. Brighter."
Just imagine, people, something like that just show up in the sky, like a sun, and it blows up so much energy that it just toasts the whole entire city and anybody around it get burned. But burned. Yeah. And they have, this is the type of weapons that they have out there. Don't think this is gone, because if they did this, they still can do this. Yeah, that's why I tell you, all the civilization you're living, man, it's all a simulation, and it's got a dead end, a deadline on it, and everything. They tell you last days and everything. So they intend to do this again and reconstruct on top of you. That's what they keep doing. Okay, so you guys that cannot grow up and cannot see this and cannot grow to deal with this, don't think you're gonna ever survive this. You're not gonna survive this if you're still just a common dude. Yeah, that cannot think above the average, that is stuck in feelings and other things. That's what's coming, okay? And there's nothing, that's what you should be worried about, okay? Because your little life of pain and suffering, it's not good, okay? And it's not gonna stop until you have dealt with what's going on in the earth, yeah? Until you, or probably you don't even have the time to do that now, because this, the way I see it, the way people think, so slow and so small, I don't think they're gonna ever be able to even deal with this. But I don't want to be negative because I know human beings, their potential is unlimited. They don't know this. But you know what I'm saying? That's unmet. Let's continue anyway, because I'm stuck in the video.
Than 1,000 suns. That phrase, that exact phrase, it appears in multiple accounts from 1812. A phrase that wouldn't be used again until Oppenheimer quoted the Bhagavad Gita after Trinity test in 1945. Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds. A man in Moscow described a great flash in the sky that turned night into day. The flash came before the sound came before the fire, and when the fire came, it came all at once, not spreading, appearing, as if the air itself was burning. Flash before sound. Thermal radiation traveling at light speed arriving before the shockwave. That's nuclear detonation, not conventional fire. And he described it in 1812. Another account from outside Moscow. A soldier wrote, "The trees were burnt but still standing, the leaves gone, the branches intact but black, and all the trees pointed away from the city center, as if pushed by enormous wind. But there was no wind, just sudden death." That's blast pattern. Radial devastation from a central point. Trees stripped and directionally damaged. Classic nuclear detonation signature. Documented in 1812. I found a medical report from a Russian doctor treating survivors. He described symptoms that make your blood run cold. Patients exhibited strange wounds, burns without flame exposure, skin falling away in sheets, hair falling out in clumps, vomiting blood, death within days even without visible injury. Others survived the fire but died weeks later from mysterious sickness. That's acute radiation syndrome.
There's no escaping it.
Described perfectly in 1812 by a doctor who had no concept of radiation. He was documenting the symptoms of nuclear fallout and didn't know it. The official history says Moscow burned because Napoleon's forces set fires during their retreat. Scorched earth tactics. Except the timeline doesn't work. The Igi, Great Fire of Moscow, began on September 14, 1812. Napoleon entered the city on September 14, 1812. His forces didn't have time to set systematic fires. They arrived and the city was already burning.
They got
already
burned.
destroyed, already dead. And here's what breaks the official narrative completely. Napoleon's army was devastated before winter even started. The infamous Russian winter that supposedly destroyed his forces. That came in November. But by October, most of his army was already gone. Not defeated in battle, not frozen, just gone. 600,000 men reduced to scattered remnants in 6 weeks. No conventional war explains that casualty rate. Unless they walked into something worse than war. Unless they marched into the incineration.
That's very telling. You know what I'm saying? Because like, just imagine being sent to war and they knew that you're not coming back because they're gonna reset you there. 600,000 men. Don't think even it was by accident. It was all planned to reset them like that. Let's go.
Zone of a civilization being systematically destroyed. I found a French military report, buried in archives, describing what Napoleon's scouts found as they advanced into Russia. Empty cities, perfectly intact but abandoned. Buildings undamaged. Food still on tables. Possessions left behind. As if entire populations had simply vanished. The report...
People, it all happened at the same time everywhere. Surprise, surprise. Everywhere smoked. Every continent. Now, what prevents it today? Let's go.
Called it the Great Silence. Mile after mile of civilization with no one living in it. That's not war. That's evacuation. Mass evacuation before something catastrophic. And then the fires came. City after city. Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan, Smolensk. Simultaneously or in rapid succession. Each fire described with the same impossible characteristics. Too hot, too fast, too complete. Stone melting, metal flowing like water. Destruction so absolute that in some cities nothing remained but glass and ash. Glass. Let me explain something about glass. Normal fires don't create glass. To turn sand and stone into glass requires temperatures above 1,400 degrees Celsius,
Right.
sustained temperatures. Even modern building fires rarely exceed 800 degrees. But across Russia in 1812, they found glass. Pools of it, layers of it. Buildings fused into glossy black residue. That's nuclear heat. That's thermal. Devastation beyond anything conventional fire can produce. I went to Moscow, walked through the old city, started looking at the buildings, really looking, and I found something that changed everything. Scorch marks, not on the surface, embedded in the stone itself. Mineral discoloration, thermal metamorphosis, the kind of damage that requires instantaneous exposure to extreme heat. And it's everywhere. On buildings officially dated to pre-1812. Buildings that survived the fire, except they didn't survive. They're scarred at the molecular level, marked by something far more intense than Napoleon's retreat. There's a layer of ash under Moscow, under St. Petersburg, under every major Russian city, at precisely the same depth. Archaeologists call it the cultural discontinuity of the early 19th century. A polite way of saying civilization stopped, completely, at exactly the same moment. And when it started again, it was different, simpler, smaller, as if something had reset everything. But it's not just Russia. I started looking at other continents, the same year, 1812. In South America, the earthquake of Caracas destroyed the city on March 26, 1812. Except eyewitness accounts describe something stranger than earthquake. A priest wrote, "The ground did not shake, the ground burned. Heat rose from below. The buildings did not fall, they melted. The devastation was instant and total." In the Caribbean, volcanic eruptions devastated multiple islands in 1812. Except the eruption patterns were strange, simultaneous, coordinated, as if something triggered them all at once. In Asia, records show catastrophic fires across major cities: Delhi, Calcutta, Manila, all in 1812 or 1813, all described with the same impossible intensity. This wasn't regional, this was global. A worldwide catastrophe happening simultaneously across every continent. And the only explanation that fits is coordinated destruction. Systematic annihilation. A war not between nations but against a civilization. The Tartarian Empire. The greatest empire history refuses to acknowledge. A global civilization with advanced technology, unified architecture, and continental infrastructure. An empire so powerful, so advanced, so entrenched that the only way to defeat it was total destruction. Nuclear destruction. Because here's what they don't want you to know. The technology existed, not steam engines, not gunpowder, nuclear technology. We have evidence. In ancient India, the Mahabharata describes weapons that sound exactly like nuclear devices.
Okay, if they had nuclear devices, you know they had AI, right? It's not something new. So let's go.
Single projectile charged with all the power of the universe. An incandescent column of smoke and flame as bright as 10,000 suns. That's not mythology, that's technical documentation. Ancient sites around the world show evidence of vitrification. Stone turned to glass, Mohenjo-Daro in Pakistan, glass-covered ruins, radiation signatures above normal background levels, dated to thousands of years ago, but also present in ruins from 1812. What if the technology wasn't new? What if it was old? What if Tartaria had it? And what if the forces that destroyed them had it too? The War of 1812 was the cover story. Napoleon's invasion was the distraction. While the world watched armies march, something else was happening. The systematic nuclear bombardment of every major Tartarian city: Moscow, St. Petersburg, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, Caracas, Delhi. Simultaneous strikes, coordinated destruction, a reset of global civilization. And when it was over, when the radiation cooled, when the fires died, they rewrote history, blamed Napoleon, blamed accidents, blamed anything except the truth, that humanity was reset, that advanced civilization was incinerated, that we're living in the aftermath of nuclear war from 1812. The evidence is everywhere once you see it. The scorch marks, the glass layers, the radiation signatures, the impossible fire descriptions, the simultaneous global catastrophe, the cultural discontinuity, the sudden simplification of architecture after 1812.
The cultural discontinuity, people. That's what you're dealing with. Yeah. And perhaps there's no way you're going to catch up with that culture back there. There's no way you're going to catch up with nothing unless you're free. And they know better not to let you be free. That's why they have all these big governments doing just exactly the same thing they were doing back there. Would you think do this? It needs to be a very big government. Only big governments can do this. Yeah, and then they put it in some dude called Napoleon, that, it's all a fake history from there. It's all fake history, people. When the dude sent 600,000 troops and only 10,000 came back. What the hell did he do there? And everybody died anyway. How the hell he did all of this and all his troops died? They were sent to the reset. Napoleon was behind it because he sent his troops there to die. He knew that this shit is gonna happen. Otherwise, he will go there himself as well. You see what I'm saying? So this is all how they do the resets. That's how vulnerable you are. Okay? Some light can just show up anytime, and everything that you know, it's no more. And nothing will be found in the future, just like you can't find nothing what they were doing. Everything was erased. A complete civilization grows to be erased. Is that what you're willing? Is that why you vote? Is that why you believe in government? Let's go.
The loss of building techniques, the loss of knowledge, all consistent with systematic destruction of a civilization. I found a letter from a British engineer working in Russia in 1820. He wrote, "The destruction we attribute to Napoleon's retreat is far more extensive than any army could achieve. The cities are not damaged, they are transformed. The stone shows signs of heat no earthly fire could produce. And beneath the rubble, we find foundations, magnificent foundations, of buildings far greater than what now stands, as if we are rebuilding poorly on the bones of giants. As if we are rebuilding poorly on the bones of giants. That's not reconstruction, that's replacement, inferior replacement, after extermination. The year 1812 was the year they killed Tartaria. Nuclear fire, simultaneous strikes, global incineration, and then they buried the evidence. Blamed conventional war, blamed weather, blamed anything but The truth that humanity has been here before, that we were more advanced before, that we were destroyed before, and that the civilization we're living in now is not the first. It's the remnant, the survivors, the children of catastrophe who forgot their own history because someone made sure we would forget. The paintings remember, the scorch marks remember, the glass layers remember, the radiation signatures remember, the eye...
Now, how evil is that, people? The place that you live, this is what it is. How evil do these get? And you think I'm worried about some small bullshit out there on YouTube? No, I care about this. Yeah, things like this.
Witness accounts remember. Even though the historians lie, the evidence testifies. 1812 was nuclear. 1812 was global. 1812 was the end of Tartaria and the beginning of the lie we call modern history.
It's what I told you guys, man. It gets better. Yeah, they destroyed the old road and created this abomination road we have today, which is all lie. It's all a fake. Okay, your history, your science, your religion, all to dumb you down, forget who you are. That's all they give you that. And how they lied and lied and lied, and now all these lies are coming up. Yeah, but the important thing is that you need to know is that this civilization they have now is only 214 years. Yeah, which started from 1812 to 2026. It's got no, you got no evidence of what was happening before that because it was erased, it was reset. So anything they gave you of what was happening before is all being fabricated. Okay? You don't need to believe them. You just use your damn common sense and you're gonna find out. And if you do your own research, you're gonna find out. You don't need somebody to tell you. It's all out there. Yeah, the pattern is consistent, the evidence is consistent, everything is consistent. And the people that can see, they just either too slow or they're not ready for this. Okay? Not everybody is ready for information, of course. Some people are still too slow to understand even their own damn lives. So that's that, man. That's all I want you to see today. Yeah, you got to be strong. You got to be shielded. You got to be strong, man. And I told you, I'm not no king or nothing. Yeah, I'm way beyond kings, queens. These are all the false history they gave us, constructs, okay, and simulations. It's all a simulation. And the king is part of the damn matrix because the king is subject to the bankers, the king is subject to the people he serves, the king is subject to his kingdom and to other kingdoms. I'm not. Okay? I'm the catalyzer. I don't go around playing no king and or anything or any position that they define in this matrix. Yeah. And if the minute you identify with any of that, that's what's gonna happen to you. They're gonna reset you in the end. So you gotta be smart and you gotta come out of the matrix, or there is no way you're gonna escape this. And you know, I think the time is closing for you. You know what I'm saying? You can see all the cities being burned. You need a very strong weapon to burn a city that way, in this magnitude. See that? And fire is like coming from the air, it's coming from underneath buildings, it's coming from everywhere. There's no way nobody escaped this. from that time to tell the story. So the people that did this get to write the story and get own all these lands that they burned. All these people that they killed lost their lands. These were the ancestors. And these people took all these lands and wrote new rules. If you want the house, you gotta pay. Pay to us, nigga. You gotta pay tax. You are our slave now. Because we own all that shit. That's how they got it, people. That's sad, man. I wanted you to see this. I wanted you to know this because it is important for your development. That's it, man. I love you all. Keep the instructions. Peace.